farm workers inspect and harvest basil for export to Europe, China, and the Middle East. Every week, Karakuta Farm exports nearly 10 tons of herbs. Managers here are optimistic about duty-free access to the Chinese market, but they face tough restrictions.
The challenge we have is currently because the Chinese market has set up rules for their produce to get in. So the medium to small scale farmer will not really be able to achieve this, but still in negotiations with the government and the government of China to see how this can be at least relaxed, because majority of our farmers are actually organic farmers.
Data from China Customs show that the trade volumes between China and African countries has grown from $14 billion to nearly $300 billion in the last 2 decades. But last year, African countries spent nearly $180 billion on Chinese imports, but they earned about $120 billion from its exports to China, leading to a trade deficit of nearly $62 billion. And latest data reveals that Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt are some of the biggest buyers of Chinese products, especially when it comes to construction machinery. Under Beijing's new zero tariff policy for African goods, traders are gaining duty-free access for thousands of products, from tea and coffee to textile and nuts, a major shift in global trade ties. The only African country excluded from the deal is Eswatini, which recognizes Taiwan. But the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry officials say they are optimistic.
For the agriculture produce, the East is really opening up, and this is going to be a game changer. And the advantage that we have with China and the East is not only a market of 1.5 billion people, but also the working together with them to improve on the technologies, the equipment, the machinery. So this is quite a plus.
However, critics warn that it may not correct the trade imbalance.
So the biggest risk is having African countries being given a market, but they don't have the skills, they don't have the technology to come up with value-added product to take that market.
For now, many exporters plan to scale up production to meet China's growing demand for agricultural products, although questions remain about who will benefit in the long run. Vivian Mandera, Africa Matters, Nairobi.